Hey, what's up, family? Listen, how I don't know how I'm late to being late, but I just am. So, welcome to Elevate Us, you guys. Listen, today I was going to talk about something, but I'm going to just save it for another conversation. I just got back from the Wealth Mindset Conference held by the DeVilles over at Red Rock. And it was just amazing. Okay, that's all I have to say. If they have this next year, I would really suggest that you get a ticket and you go to this. So much was learned and so much was talked about, and there were some definite highlights of the event. Just first I'll tell you that Desiree King, phenomenal. That was the host. Like, she is just the energy that she bring. Like, y'all, she bring it. Okay. And then let me see. We heard from Yolanda Smith and Alicia Taylor and Jewel. I don't want to mess up her name. Jewel if Goonie, sorry y'all, she's Nigerian. And you know what? Ancestry told me I got Nigerian blood in me, so I shouldn't be messing this up. So, but she worked for Microsoft and among some other things. And Alicia Taylor, phenomenal. She talked about the her CCW, which is cash, credit, and wealth. And hold on, I'm telling you guys all this for a reason. It's gonna lead to something in a few minutes. And then I think I messed that up. Yeah. So Alicia Taylor and then Yolanda Smith, also phenomenal. I'm gonna just say this. They all dropped some jewels today on wealth building. And the highlight to me was Dr. Ona Brown, which is the daughter of Les Brown. So she really just not just brought the thing home. She like hit it out the ballpark. Um, so today I'm just gonna share some gems from what I got from today. What happened, and how we as a black community, I really feel that we have such a horrible relationship with money. We think of money so wrong. And a lot of it comes from, older thinking. And honestly, it's kind of a slavery mindset that, that we don't deserve to have money, or that money is evil, that money is bad. A lot of us grew up with our moms and dads or whatever saying, money don't grow on trees, and you got what is it, a champagne budget on no a champagne sorry y'all, I'm tired, it's been a long day. You got champagne taste on a beer budget. That's the one I used to hear all the time too. So it just kind of, when you hear this stuff over and over again as a child, it just sets up in your mind, that you really start to think that having money is a bad thing. And then you see people that use money for evil. You see people that use it for power. So it really does set up in your mind that that it's bad to have money. And those are the generational curses and trauma bonds that we're breaking right now, and coming into an understanding that we are designed to have money. We literally, we come from royalty. You got to remember that we as a people, we have a royal uh, gen- uh heritage. You guys, y'all gonna have to bear with me today. That's why I said I'm just gonna jump on here really quick, and because I got there, it was from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., went over till about 7 some odd. So I'm running on low today, so just bear with me. But as I say, we do have a royal bloodline within us, and we were brought over to this country and made to think that we were the scum of the earth just because we're black people. That's what they tried to embed in our head, that we're ignorant and we're illiterate and we're just poor people. And we have this poor mindset, and they did such a good job at making us think that we do stay in this low vibrational state of being here in this country. Not only that, my grandparents, they lived in a city called Boley in Oklahoma. And Boley, Oklahoma, in the 30s, It was an all black town. They had black banks, black stores, black everything, schools, the whole town was black. And at one point or another, I want to make sure I get my history right on this. The railroad that ran through Boley, Oklahoma, was owned by a white family, so they ended up confiscating the land, and then the whole town went dry. So, Mama, if I'm saying this story wrong, you can come and correct me on it. But that's the story. That's what I remember. Hearing the stories from my grandfather. But every time in history, we had an all black town that was thriving and flourishing. We know the stories. Either they came in and bombed it, or they, flooded the town or killed everybody. So, of course, we develop fears of trying to go, get for ourselves, because we think that it's just going to be the same thing. We think that, if we build something, they're going to come and they're going to mess with it. So, because of these fears, we've stood in line and we've done exactly what they told us to do. But again, we're waking up, we're starting to come out of these mindsets. And the first part of coming out of this mindset is changing your relationship with money, changing how you view money, and getting out of the money is the root of all evil. Money is not the root of all evil. The evil people who have money and use it for evil is the root of all evil. So there's all these little cliches and all these little sayings that we're so used to, that we've heard, all of our lives, that we really have to deprogram our minds. We really have to start learning how to put better stuff into our heads, and it all comes with, doing affirmations and saying more positive things to yourself, and feeling better about yourself, your relationship with money, how you teach your children, how you educate yourself about it, and what we do with it when we get the money. We can't get money and keep spending it on Gucci and Louis and purses and shoes and all this other silly stuff. Black people spend $3 trillion annually on consumer goods. That's a lot of money. And then we talk about we're broke. We talk about we're poor. We're not poor. We have poor spending habits. We spend our money on the wrong things. We're not investing our money the way that the others are investing their money. They get their money. You see a rich white dude walking around with some tennis shoes with a Z on it and a white t-shirt and some jeans, okay? But he's probably worth $1 billion. He probably has assets, and he probably has hard assets, and he's got life insurance and money market accounts, and he's got stocks, and he's he's investing in energy and all kinds of things, and in tech and crypto. But we want to look good. We want everybody to look and say, oh, look, he got a Mercedes. Oh, he must be balling out. Look, she got a Hermes bag. Well, I'm sorry, we don't even get Hermes bags, because we can't even, we not on that level. But they like, oh, look, she got a Louis bag. But you got a Louis bag, but that bag, can you imagine that you die tomorrow, and all you have to leave to your children is some Louis bags and some tennis shoes? Come on, man. We got to do better. We got to get out of this. We got to stop this foolishness. We need to stop buying all these silly material things. Who are you trying to show this stuff to? The people that you're trying to impress, they don't even care about you. They don't even like you. But you're spending all of your money trying to impress these people and trying to look a certain way, but you don't even have your financial health in order. So some of the things that we talked about today is, hold on. So I loved when with Alicia Taylor, she came up and we talked about, if cash is king, then credit is queen. And there was also, oh God, what was his name? It was the first speaker. Oh, Will Roundtree. That was the first speaker. So when I got in there, he was kind of talking about the same thing, and he was talking about understanding unstructured debt against structured debt, which is, unstructured debt, of course, is going to be, you're looking at credit from a consumer standpoint. But when you have structured debt, you understand that, that's funding and credit and assets and the cost of money. You have to understand what the cost of money is, and wealth building and leverage. So getting back to Alicia Taylor, she was kind of saying the same thing. And it's hold on, let me see. What was she talking about? She talked about so much. Curtis King and hold on. I took some notes, but I don't know. Maybe my notes. Oh, this is it. Okay, so this is what I wanted to talk about. So, one thing that we have to understand in the black community, and a lot of older black people in the black community, they don't want to, as far as like credit or anything, and I'm not talking about co-signing. All right, just they, as far as trying to help their children out, they do not want to help their children out because they feel like, I worked hard for this, so you need to work just as hard as I did. But that is a horrible mentality to have, because you have to think about how other people's children get ahead. And when I say others, I mean, the white people, even Hispanics and, Asian communities, they do so much for their children. They help their children. They leave behind legacies, and they build their own generational wealth that they pass down, and they're planning out what their children are gonna, they're not just their children, but their children's children and the children's children's children. You know what I'm saying? They're planning for hundreds of years ahead in the future. Whereas we don't even plan for our own funeral. We don't even plan for how our people are going to bury us. When we die, our family has to go out and have a car wash or sell plates or go fund me, and I don't care. Y'all can get mad at me. It is the most selfish act that you can do to not have life insurance, because you're leaving the burden of your death on your family. So, first of all, they're going to be mourning your death. All right. They're going to be devastated because you've passed away. Then they're going to be mourning the cost, the expense of burying you if you leave here with no plan. If you leave here and everybody's got to come together and figure out, how are we going to get the place, how are we going to get the coffin, how are we going to, get food and getting people in town and all these other things, that is a burden. It is a burden, so it's like, as black people, we need to stop doing this to our family members. We have to start being smarter. You can have life insurance, and I sell life insurance. All right. So if you go on my Facebook page, I post it all the time. I don't even get anybody as so much as putting a like on it. But if I posted a video of somebody twerking, that everybody gonna like it, love it, share it. But if we talk about these issues that we really need to talk about, nobody even likes it. Nobody even looks at it. You know what I'm saying? But for the cost of a Starbucks coffee daily, and a lot of y'all do this every day, you can have a life insurance policy. I don't care if you get $10,000. I don't care if you get $20,000. I don't care if you get just something. Stop leaving the burden of your death on your family. Start being smarter. Let's start thinking better. Let's start doing better. So one of the things she talked about, I'm sorry, I just had a chastise moment because I'm, we really do. We need some chastising right now. We're at that point where somebody needs to, smack some sense into us every now and then, because we're doing things so wrong. We're setting ourselves up for failure. And if people, well, I'm gonna be dead, so I'm not gonna worry about it. If that's your frame of mind, if that's the way that you think, you don't need no kids. You know what I'm saying? You should have never even had children if that's the way you think about it, because that is hurtful, and it destroys a family. And then I hear other black people say, well, I'm not getting no life insurance because I'm not going to have my family fighting over money, fighting over my money when I die. That's ignorant. Okay? That's ignorant. First of all, if you talk to your family, if you communicate with them what needs to be done, and you have processes put in place, even a family business plan, then you don't have to worry about how the family is going to spend the money. You can delegate the way that it's going to go. But for you to say, well, I don't want my family, fighting over money when I die. You think about this. If you die and say you have a $50,000 life insurance policy, that could be life changing for your children. They could buy homes, or they can, help one of the kids go to college, or, there's so many things that they can do with this. So we need to stop thinking in the frame of mind of, I'm not going to have nobody fighting over my money when I die. No, that you're setting your family up, you're going to set your family up to succeed. And it may not be the ultimate success, but it's better than nothing. It's better than you dying and your family has to scramble together. Is that really how you want your legacy to be? Do you want your family talking 10 years from now saying, man, grandma left us, and we all had to scramble together to bury her. We barely could do that, and now we in debt over this, and now we in a worse position than ever before. Is that the way you want people to talk about you when you leave here? And don't say you don't care, because if you don't care, then then what's the point? There's just no point. But we have to start thinking better than that. You need to get life insurance. You guys DM me, all right? Hit me up, and I send you a link for the life insurance, and you could walk yourself through the whole process, and you could get the least amount. But just remember that something is better than nothing. All right. These are wealth building strategies, because now they have insurance policies, IULs, whole life policies that you can purchase, that even you can, when you get several years into your policy, you can borrow cash against that policy. You can use that money for anything. If you're someone that's been an entrepreneur for a long time, you've been side hustling, you've been doing whatever, you don't have a 401k, or you don't have a retirement plan, this is something that you can use as a tool to help ease the pain of going into your senior years and making sure that you have enough money to sustain yourself. So there's so many ways that you can use it. And trust me, they do. They use this. They use it to their full advantage. And that's why they have the jump on us. That's why they're so far ahead of us. So another thing I want to talk about is AU. All right. Authorized user. This is a tool that we do not use. Do you understand that if you have a credit card that you've been paying on, and you have a good credit history with this credit card, you can add authorized users in your family. And now you can boost, say, and I did this with my daughter. So I put her on my credit card, and the first car that she went to go buy, she went in and she was like, I think, like 750, somewhere between 750, 780 credit score. And so there's credit unions out there that they still consider that they call you a first time buyer, but because you have some form of credit, you can purchase a vehicle. And her first car, she got a 3.2 interest rate. And that's big for somebody on their first time purchasing a vehicle, compared to somebody else that's first time with no credit. They're at a 16 to 18% interest rate. And then you don't want to talk about the people with bad credit, because now you're talking about a 21 to 26% interest rate to purchase a vehicle. But do you see the difference in that? We're talking about her purchasing her first vehicle at a 3.2% interest rate. And then the next car that she got it at a 2.5. And I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose because I didn't want them to step into life and have to go through the same suffering that I had to go through. So you set your kids up. So as an authorized user, it does not affect the original credit holder. There's nothing that this does to you or to your credit card. The person that you add as an authorized user, they don't even have access to your credit card. All that is a tool to help your child to build up credit, so they can go purchase things, so they can have a better credit score, so they can go purchase things, and they can get a lower interest rate, so it costs them less money. Why wouldn't you want something for your child to cost less money? Because sorry, yeah. Because it's going to end up costing you less money in the long run. Because if you could do these little hacks that help your children save money, then you don't have to worry about them coming to you and asking you for things, and needing to borrow money or to do certain things. If you set them up properly, it's going to save everybody money in the long run. And I think an authorized user is a tool that every family should be using. Every family should be using. One person can get a credit card, and everybody can maintain the credit card and make sure that that one credit card stays good and stays at a 10% ratio, and everybody can benefit from this. But we don't use these type of tools because we're always against each other. We're not thinking about how to uplift each other. We're not using these tactics to help each other come up. And just think about it. If you start adding everybody on to everybody gets added on as authorized users, then everybody has good credit. And if they do something in their own name that's bad credit on them, hey, that's on them. But if you have, just specific cards that everybody's piggybacking off of, and you're helping everybody build credit with that, then you can get into buying real estate. And you guys can start building up properties, and you can get into, doing other things. You can buy, start up a family LLC. You could purchase cars on the LLC. You could build up business credit. So many gateways. But yeah, and we don't have to be in the positions that we're in. We put ourselves there. We put ourselves there because we don't learn these things. We don't research anything. Lack of knowledge. We stay there, and we want to buy a pair of Jordans. We want to go pay $200 and $300 for a pair of tennis shoes. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and that's the kind of mentality that is keeping us stuck. So, and I'm gonna have Jamie back here. That was my guest last week. He's gonna be back here next week, and we're gonna talk about. There's some real stuff going on right now. I don't know who's paying attention to what's going on, but I'll give you an idea that. If you're not following the news, and this isn't trying to scare anybody, but this is some real stuff that's going on. The dollar is being devalued, right? And if you don't believe me, go type, go. You can YouTube, you can go watch CNN. Um, just really quick, the dollar in 1913, that's when the Federal Reserve took over the monetary system. And then in 1933, that's when the gold was confiscated from every American, right? The government just came in, anybody that had gold, they came in and took all of your gold. And then in 1971, we went to the Petro Act. That's where our dollar, that was 1974, when, because 1971 was the gold standard. So that's when the dollar was no longer backed by gold. And then 1974, we went to the petrodollar, where the dollar was backed by foreign oil. So because America has been such a bully to every country, everything that America does, they go in and kick the door down. They kill women and children, and they force everybody into certain ways of doing things and doing business. So pretty much everybody's done with that. And I'm not going to talk too much because we're going to talk about this next week. But now the petrodollar that we've been used to and that we've used as a weapon is in the process of coming back to us, because these countries no longer want to use the dollar for their oil. So I say this to tell you, you just and like I said, it's not to scare anybody, because there's always something that happens. We've seen Y2K, and we've seen 2012 and all these other things, but you just better prepare yourself. You better prepare yourself financially. And honestly, if you're not in the best financial situation, and we all could use some financial health checks, but if you're not in the best financial situation, this is the time to start liquidating all the silly stuff that you have, and start thinking more in terms of assets. This is the time to really start thinking, everything that you purchase, is this an asset? Is this something that's going to help me later on down the line? Is this something that's going to be useful to us? If we get into a position where the American dollar comes back to us and it's worthless, prices are going to go crazy. And I went to the grocery store the other day and the cart barely had anything in it, and get to the register, it's $125. That's not even a shop. That was just grabbing a couple of things. So inflation is hitting all of us in the butt. It's hitting us really hard, and we see it. We see it in everything, not just in not in just in groceries, but we see it in consumer goods. We see it in services. We're seeing inflation hitting us all the way around. So you have to know to some degree that it's going to come to a head. So and it could come a time where we're looking at two classes of people. We could be looking at the wealthy and the poor. We could see a phase out of the middle class. So what side of the spectrum are you going to be on? Are you going to be in the wealthy class, or are you going to be in the poor class? Because the like I said, the middle class right now, a lot of middle class people, they're teetering on by one or two paychecks. They're only one or two paychecks away from being poor. So you have to start thinking more smart. You have to think, you have to start looking at money differently. You have to change your relationship with money. And you have to be more mindful of what you're buying, where you're spending your money, and what you're doing with it, how you're doing it, and who is in control of your money. Do you control your fate? Do you control the way that your story is being written? Or is somebody writing that? And that was Yolanda Smith. She talked about this. She talked about, are you writing your story? Are you in control of you and your finances, or does somebody else have control over you? And that's the question that you have to ask yourself. Is there somebody over you that can make one decision that can change your whole life? And if the answer to that is yes, then you have to think about how to protect yourself and how to protect your family. Yeah, you have to make sure that somebody can't one day walk into a job and say, "You know what? You're fired." The next thing you know, you lose your job, then you lose your house and you lose your livelihood, and you and your family are in a very bad situation. So you have to start thinking in terms of who's controlling your fate, who's holding the keys to your livelihood. So that's some of the things. I listen, I when I tell you that I walked out of this conference empowered, and they said that you cannot walk out of here being the same person that you walked in as. And it was the truth. It was 100% the truth, because just walking out of there, it's making me ask myself a lot of different questions right now about, how my personal finances look, and what am I doing, personally in my life to live out my dreams or fulfill my purpose and doing the things that I want to do. Am I where I want to be financially? And the answer to that is no. After I lost the store, after Easy Days closed down, there's a lot of rebuilding that I'm having to do right now. So I'm going to be 100% transparent. No, my finances are not where I want them to be, but every single day I keep moving and I keep working and I keep doing things to try to build up the next business, or the next business, and this business. I'm never going to sit down. I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to be defeated. I don't care what happens. I had the whole store just shut down on me in an instant and lost everything that I put into the store. But did that make me go sit in a corner and say I'm depressed? No, I did not. I jumped up and I tried to figure out, what's the next move? What do I do now? Which direction are we going in now? And that's what you have to do. You have to keep moving. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. It doesn't matter, if you lose everything, you the same way that you got it the first time, you just pick up and you go back and you get it again. But you have to remember that nothing is going to ever happen without movement. We hear so much about manifestations right now, and people want to manifest money into their lives. And you have to remember that a part of manifesting is action. You cannot manifest anything in your life if you're not willing to take the actions to create it and to bring it into reality. So along with that manifesting, when you're sitting there and you're, doing your meditations and you're doing your prayers and whatever you're doing, you have to remember that cause and effect is what brings you closer to those goals, and the hard work that you have to put in. We look at people with a lot of money and we think, oh, it must be nice. They got a lot of money, but no, you don't know what these people have to go through to have that money. You don't know the sacrifices that they had to go through, the hard work that they have to go through. These people push and grind and hustle. They don't just, we could talk about another set of people who things are handed to, but when you see one of us, you got to know that they really work their butts off to get that money. Even if you look at Beyonce, look at how hard she works. They exhaust themselves. And I know Beyonce, people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's a bad example," but it really isn't, because Beyonce is who she is by putting in the work. It doesn't matter if her father set things up for her. She still had to show up. She still had to do rehearsals. She still has to go from here to there. She still has to manage, a lifestyle, and it really is a lot of work that goes into that. If you look at, Michael Jordan, or any basketball player, NFL player, the work that they have to put in, the abuse that their bodies go through for them to be who they are, all of that is hard work. So you can't try to manifest something in your life and you're not willing to put the work in for it, because then you're just going to end up in the same exact position that you were in. So keep that in mind while you're manifesting. I'm about to jump off here in a few minutes because I was only coming on just for a second. I had a little rant tonight because I really want to see better for us. I really want to see the black community elevating. I want us to stop being in the financial positions that we are. I want us to play Monopoly. I want us to own land. I want us to start thinking better in terms of the assets that we hold and how we pass on generational wealth to our families. Stop talking about, oh, I'm trying to build generational wealth, but you don't have a life insurance policy. You don't have hard assets for your family. You're not trying to purchase land. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that are building generational wealth. You can't leave a Louis Vuitton purse to your kids. They can't do nothing with that. Cash it in and get a couple $100, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So let's start thinking smarter. Let's start thinking about our money. Think about your relationship with money. Make sure that you are healing from any past traumas that you've had from, listening all your life about money being bad and it's the root of all evil and it's, the devil, blah, blah, blah. No, because when you think about it, and if this is to my Christian folks, when you look at the Bible, all of God's favorite people had riches. They had land, they had money, they had gold, they had all kinds of stuff. So no, it's our birthright. We're meant to be wealthy. We're meant to have money. So just, keep that in mind. So I'm gonna get out of here. Again, you can go to my Facebook. I'm gonna post the link. I'll probably post it just in a little bit, but I'll post my link for. I work with Ethos now, life insurance, and I never advise term policies to anyone. I always tell you to get a whole life policy. It's an indexed universal life policy. That's what you want. That's what's going to help you build. You'll have a death benefit and you'll have a living benefit. All right. So I'll post that onto my Facebook, which my Facebook is ELLENA Elena Smith, and I'll post that after we're done. So. All right, I think that's it. And again, like I said, Jamie will be here next week, and we're going to talk about the financial I'm not even gonna say the crisis. We just gonna talk about the. Honestly, I feel like it's kind of a state of an emergency, but we're gonna talk about the financial future for Black America. That's what we'll be talking about next week. All right, y'all. And I'll probably be in somewhere around 6 o'clock, but I'll post it and let you guys know. My times are fluctuating right now as I try to find my niche. All right, you guys. All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Remember, let's elevate us, elevate Black America, and let's share. Whatever it is, whatever you want to share on here, you want me to talk about. Let's start sharing all of the tactics that we need to take for us to start making moves and moving forward and start to heal and really elevating us. All right, you guys. Good night and have a great week.